My daughter changed her surname to match her stepfather's, and I only discovered it when her wedding invitation arrived. That moment shifted everything between us. Hello Reddit. I'm Daniel Mercer, a 52-year-old civil engineer from upstate New York. If someone had told me a year ago that a simple envelope in the mail would sever the bond with my only child, I would have laughed it off. Yet here I am, still carrying the sting of that discovery during quiet evenings. Emily was born when I was 28. Her mother, Lauren, and I were married for 8 years. Like most marriages, we had our ups and downs, but eventually it ended. Not because of cheating or money, but because the relationship had simply run its course. Emily was 5 when the divorce was finalized. Co-parenting worked, at least in the beginning. I saw her every other weekend, split holidays, and made sure I was present for every milestone, recitals, parent-teacher conferences, doctor's visits. I watched her transform from a little girl obsessed with glitter and fairy tales into a thoughtful, compassionate young woman who loved writing. I worked hard to give her the best I could, paying for private school, braces, and even her out-of-state college tuition. It meant sacrifices, skipping vacations, driving old cars, taking extra projects just to keep up. But she was worth every bit of it. Lauren remarried eventually. Her new husband, Tom, seemed harmless enough. Worked in finance, coached Little League, always polite, always smiling. He was the safe stepdad type. Emily liked him, and over the years they grew close. I respected that. My only concern was that she felt secure and loved in both homes. That was all that mattered, or so I believed. Then a few months ago, a thick ivory envelope landed in my mailbox. I knew immediately it was her wedding invitation. My chest swelled with pride as I held it, until I read the words. Mr. and Mrs. Thomas Whitmore invite you to the wedding of their daughter, Emily Whitmore, to James Anderson. Emily Whitmore. I stared at it 3 times over, struggling to process. No Mercer. No mention of the name I had carried and passed down. No phone call. No explanation. Just gone. I sat at my kitchen table with my heart racing. At first, I wasn't even angry, just confused. Then numb. Then the betrayal crept in. I tried calling her. No answer. I sent a short message. Received your invitation. Surprised by the name. We should talk. 2 days passed, silence. Finally, I called Lauren. She made that choice a while ago, Dan, Lauren said tightly. She wanted to feel connected to the family she has here. It wasn't about hurting you. Not about hurting me? I repeated. All of you knew, and no one said anything? Lauren sighed. This isn't about you. She just wanted a clean start. A clean start. As if my role in her life had been nothing but dirt. That weekend, I sat down and wrote Emily a letter. No anger, no yelling, just honesty. Emily, I received your wedding invitation. It left me breathless, but not in the way you might think. I didn't know you'd changed your last name. You never told me, never asked how I'd feel. You just erased it as though it meant nothing. Understand this. I'm not upset because you love your stepfather. I'm grateful he's treated you well. What hurts is that for 25 years, I have been your father. I held your hand through nightmares, drilled math problems with you, helped you choose your first car, and spent countless nights worrying when you didn't call. I didn't need a parade, but I expected respect. You have every right to choose the name you carry into your marriage. But you cannot erase the history we share. You cannot pretend I wasn't there. For that reason, I won't be attending your wedding. This isn't punishment, it's self-preservation. I need time to understand what this means for us. Take care of yourself. Love, Dad. I mailed the letter, turned off my phone, and disappeared into the Adirondacks for a 3-day hiking trip. No reception, no noise, just space. When I returned, my phone was overflowing with messages. Lauren, mutual friends, and finally Emily. Her first texts were defensive. You're overreacting. It's just a name. Tom's been more of a father to me than you ever were. That one cut deeper than I expected. Then came a voicemail. Her voice cracked, full of tears. Dad, I didn't mean to hurt you. She told me she only wanted to make things smoother for her mom and Tom. She admitted she never thought I would care this deeply. Now she realized how much my name had meant to me, and she apologized, begging me not to shut her out. But something in me had already shifted. It wasn't really about a name anymore. It was about meaning, about whether the role I had played in her life was valued or simply discarded when it became inconvenient. I didn't answer her right away. In fact, I didn't respond at all for weeks. Her wedding day came and went, and I spent it repairing my old boat with my brother. We shared beers, swapped stories, and watched the sun dip behind the lake. Peaceful. Simple. Later, I saw the wedding photos online. Emily smiling with Tom at her side, her bouquet glowing in the golden light. Beneath the caption, Emily Whitmore and James Anderson. A perfect new beginning. I felt nothing. No anger. No sorrow. Just a strange kind of acceptance. Months passed before Emily reached out again. She asked if we could meet for coffee, talk it out face to face. But by then, I had already made peace with my decision. I told her I loved her and always would, but choices carry weight. Not as punishment, just as reality. I couldn't be her fallback anymore, the parent waiting silently in the shadows. I told her I was proud of the father I had been, but I wouldn't chase someone who didn't want me in their story. She cried. She pleaded. But I didn't bend. Through a mutual friend, I later heard that Emily was expecting her first child. She had been looking through old photos, baby pictures, school snapshots, birthday videos. She even asked for a copy of the letter I once wrote her before she left for college. Maybe she was remembering. Maybe the consequences of her decisions were finally settling in. But by then, I had already moved forward. Not because of bitterness, but because I had learned my worth. A few weeks ago, a handwritten letter arrived. No return address, but I knew her handwriting instantly. Emily. Dad, I don't know if you'll ever read this, or if you'll even want to. I was angry, defensive. I didn't realize what I was giving up until it was already gone. Tom never tried to replace you. That was me. I thought if I blended in, if I made my life look simpler, it would patch over the broken parts of my past. Instead, I erased the one person who never left. You weren't perfect, but you were there. And now I see how rare that is. I understand if you've moved on. Honestly, if I were you, I probably would have too. I just needed you to know. I remember. I remember everything. And I miss you. Love, Emily. I held that letter for a long time. It didn't repair the silence, didn't erase the choices, didn't undo the damage. But it was something. Maybe a beginning. Maybe an ending. I wasn't sure yet. I didn't respond immediately. Instead, I folded it carefully and placed it in the same box where I kept her baby photos, kindergarten drawings, and the Father's Day cards with glitter and crooked hearts. It belonged there, another piece of our story, even if the chapters had already turned. Now when I walk the trail by the lake near my house, I sometimes picture her beside me. Not the bride in white or the woman who took another man's name, but the little girl in rain boots, asking if ducks could live as pets. That's the version I let stay close to me. She's easier to forgive. Maybe one day she'll want to know me again, not out of guilt but out of choice. If that day comes, I'll be here. Not waiting but living. Because I've learned that being a father sometimes means holding tight, and sometimes it means releasing with grace. Final reflection. Names can be altered. Invitations can be rewritten. But history cannot be erased. It lives in scraped knees, in midnight phone calls, in the quiet way a child leans on your shoulder when they feel safe. And while Emily may one day teach her own child to spell Whitmore, she'll always remember who first taught her to write her name.